on either side. We put some drives together offensively, couldn't go finish. They started fast on offense. They were able to put 2 drives together and you create a hole, and then it kind of changes the way you play offensively, where you're playing catch up, which is a tough way to play offense. We had opportunities offensively off the interception. We had opportunities off of the stops in the first half. We had opportunities and didn't take advantage of them. You flip to after the lightning delay, and they responded way better than we did. We went into halftime, and I thought we came out really intentful, but again, can't finish drives. There was 5 3-and-outs offensively, starting with what it looked like on first down. You got into some 3rd and longs, which against that defense is really hard. A lot of credit to Miami. Played really hard, played really intentfully. I thought the quarterback wasn't affected enough where he was able to get comfortable, and ultimately that was the story of the game. They were able to be comfortable. They were able to be efficient running the football on first down, created 3rd and shorts, and we were never able to get a hold of it. I think the part that I'm really encouraged by is the fact that our dudes kept swinging, kept fighting, kept swinging, kept fighting. You never saw any ripple on the sideline. You never saw any ripple on the field. But I thought we just weren't efficient enough on either side of the ball. I thought fundamentally we weren't good enough. I thought schematically we were not able to be us. When you get behind like that, you have to change on both sides of the ball. And we just were never able to go do it. And the last 3 drives defensively, we gave up 3 touchdowns, which obviously is not the standard. So went back. That one hurt. I think it hurt in so many ways because it was a huge game in state against a really, really good football team. And we didn't play to the standard that we internally wanted to play to. So, man, got to go handle it on Saturday night. We handled it on Sunday. I think even going into Monday morning to our team meeting, had to snap out of it. I had to snap out of it. We all had to snap out of it, knowing that there's a ton of football left. We haven't even started conference play. The fact that we're playing a meaningful game like that early in the season is certainly strides for us as a program. The last part of it, and I said it after the game, but I said it to our guys. I repeated it again on Monday morning. We as a program are going to be in that situation again. And ultimately, I think until you're in those situations over and over again as a program, it's really hard to simulate the level of focus, the level of precision that it takes to beat a team like that. And again, I think a really good team, I think really complete team, but ultimately, I think in a lot of ways we are as well. And we're going to be in that situation again. And the standard would be to play, to certainly play better. At the end of the day, that's the message, and we're going to continue to work really, really hard. Turn the page over to South Carolina State. That's the thing, is there's no time to take a breath. And I said it before the year, everybody kept talking about these first 3 games. This 4th game right here, this is a really, really good football team. Won their league a year ago. I think Coach Barry does a phenomenal job. I didn't know much about him until really this spring when we started digging on it. But won every game in their league. You just look at their first 3. Won at Wofford, won this past weekend against Bethune, and then you watch them at South Carolina in a really, really hostile environment, and South Carolina didn't score, didn't cross the 50 in the first half until the 2-minute drill offensively, scored 2 on special teams, and that's what made it a 17-3 game at half. But there's nothing our guys need to do other than watch the film to wake up really, really quickly. Defensively, simple in a lot of ways, which allows their kids to play really, really hard. And then offensively, so multiple. Played 2 quarterbacks. Both guys have a chance to go win. but do so much offensively, formationally, motions. In the run game, super, super diverse. In the pass game, crazy diverse. It's a challenge defensively to prepare for, one, between the quarterbacks, and two, the scheme. It's a really, really well-coached team, and I know it's everybody's job to stand up here and tell you how good of a team they're playing. I'm telling you, a really, really sound, well-coached, athletic football team that's going to win a ton of games. So for us, it's a big challenge to, one, regroup, two, bounce back. I think two things for us that are positive. One, just got off the field from a Tuesday practice, as intentful of a practice as we've had all year. Locked in, focused, player-led, guys demanding that the standard is at a high, high level. But two, we're back home. I know the ticket sales are really high. It sounds like we're going to have an incredible crowd Saturday night. If you don't have your tickets yet, make sure you get them. Noon, Saturday, college football the way it's supposed to be played at Ray J. It'll be an awesome environment for us. So I encourage the students, I encourage everybody in Tampa, come out and see us Saturday. I think they're going to be really proud of what they see. So I'll open it up to questions.
3 games in, which is actually 1 quarter of your regular season against really good competition. What have you learned, and what has that competition done to get you ready for the rest of the way?
Yeah, one, I think, knock on wood, coming out of it healthy, coming out of it in really good shape. Our guys were prepared physically. Our guys were prepared mentally. A lot of credit to the guys, to our players, for the way they worked through the spring and the summer to prepare for it. Credit to Gio and his staff, Connor, Scott, like the whole crew from a sports performance side did an elite job preparing our guys. We looked fast. We're physically ready to go play that schedule. I think if I learned anything through the first 3, which is why I'm so encouraged standing up here right now, it is a really, really gritty, tough, mentally and physically football team. It's a really connected football team. And they are literally as close of a team as I've been a part of. From offense to defense to special teams, they're all in. There's so many guys that are playing to their potential right now. It's really, really encouraging. I think the other piece that we've learned as a team, and I think as coaches, you know it, and you preach it, and you sell it, and you show it, and you teach it, and you sell it, and you show it over and over again. When you play really good football teams, the margins are really tight. They're really, really tight. And from a statistical standpoint, it's red zone, and it's third down, and it's the first and 10 conversion rate. Like, there's statistical things, but ultimately the margins are so small in the detail. When you're playing really good players, scheme, coaches, you're not going to trick somebody. There's not going to be razzle-dazzle that'll get somebody on either side of the ball. When they're really good players and they're fundamentally and technically sound that you're playing against, and they're going to be fundamentally and technically sound if they're well coached, the margins are tiny. You better be elite. You can't turn the football over. You can't create extra possessions. You can't have 0 or negative plays on first down. You can't give up 5 and 6 yard chunks on first down. If you're playing ahead of the chains or behind the chains, there's very little margin for error to just go make a crazy play on third down. So those margins are tiny, and those margins are closed really through the off-season work, and they're closed through what your intent in practice is the detail right? Is the detail being coached right? And I'm saying fundamentally and technically, so both tactically and technically, are we right in our fine detail? And so you can't have too much schematically or you're going to miss the detail. If you have too little, then you're going to get out-coached. So there's this fine line of how you win in the margins. But again, we learned against really good teams, the margins are tiny. And so you've had to create some possessions, which is why you've seen some fake punts and some like a little bit outside the box things, because you're trying to steal possessions to make sure that those margins shrink. or in our case, they expand. And so those are what I've learned through the first three about our team, and I think our team has learned about what it is in these games. That's why I say, as a program, we're going to be back in that moment, and it's going to be this year. And who knows when that is, but there's really good football teams on our schedule, starting with this one. So as you continue to go through these moments, that's how you gain confidence. Like, experience is how you gain confidence in what you're doing. I do think we have a really confident team. They got, I don't want to say the word humbled, but I think humbled in some ways, in the sense of, I think you have to get humbled when you show up and think something's just going to happen. We didn't do that, but humbled in the sense of, like, man, we are a really good football team, but when we don't help ourselves in a game, it can get like that. And so there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of fine detail for us to continue to improve on in all three phases. But that's ultimately what I think we've learned as a program.
Through 3 weeks against three outstanding teams, Alex, there might be a couple of players who maybe not necessarily surprised you, maybe that's not the right word, but it really caught your attention with their progress through 3 weeks.
Yeah, certainly have. I think if you start defensively, Bobo Chanel continues to be for a young player. He's played a bunch as a freshman, but a young player continues to give a spark and energy. At times, the interceptions are awesome, but just the way he plays the game, the way he works, he's been a really, really pleasant surprise, and he's got a long way to go, and he'll admit that. I think the way that front has continued to grow and come together, I would say, has been really, really pleasant to see. Really tough matchup Saturday. We hung in there, but it wasn't what you want. And I would tell you the two linebackers have been really impressive, Mack and Shu. We've started to rotate some in there. Xavier Hamilton's played more. Rodney Hill's played more, because those guys, like, it's hard to go 70 to 80 snaps a game and go through a gauntlet of a season. But I would tell you, Mack and Shu both are playing their best football right now. They're really intentful. They're certainly leading at a really, really high level. But that group has been really impressive. Offensively, I think Christian Neptune, his jump from week 1 to 2 to 3, he's just getting comfortable and settled in. You got to remember, we didn't have him in the spring. He was coming off of a surgery, and so we didn't really get our hands on Christian until June. And man, you talk about a young guy that's just been able to grasp it. And he's made some young guy mistakes, but he overcomes all of that by the way he works, his intent at practice. Like, maybe the easiest guy on the team to coach. You say it, it's yes sir, and then he does it. He's been a really, really bright spot for us, and gives you such an element in the slot that allows you to do many different things offensively. The speed, the hands, the route running, the toughness. He's such a mentally tough young guy. He's been fun to watch. Keyshawn is playing at a high level. I think as you look at it, really the whole wideout group has continued to step up. I think Chaz Nimrod, he would tell you there's one catch he left out there, but he's been really explosive for us, and he's continued to get more confident, and that gives us the ability to do some different things offensively between him and Keyshawn, and really those guys like Jaquan has been just dynamic for us on special teams. Offensively, he's done some really incredible things. I would tell you the offensive line has really come together. They've protected better and better as it's gone, and the competition's gotten better and better every week. They've come together. Our next step is the ability to run the football. We're, I think, averaging 90 yards a game right now. Our identity has been double that, and it has to be that to be able to be balanced. And part of that is the what you're playing and what they're giving you and what you feel like you have to do to go win the game. We felt like we've had to run Byram a bunch here to have a chance to go win these games, just because of the number counts you're getting in these boxes. but getting our running back room going, and there's some bright spots. You talk about Alvon Isaac, who started the year, I don't know, on the depth chart lower, and right now he's been a shining star for us, both in the pass game and the run game, and protectionally he's really stepped up. He's been as much of a star for us offensively through 3 weeks as anybody. He's been really, really special, and I think Byram is playing at a high level. I think Byram's gotten better every week. He's taken some shots and delivered some balls. He's certainly given us a chance with his legs, and he's given us a big-time chance with his arm. You know, he would tell you he's got a long way to go, but and certainly they all do, but I think Byram, the toughness, the grit, what he's become as a passer, and he's always been as a runner, but what he's become as a passer has really, really been awesome to see. And he'll tell you, man, there's 2 balls he wants back, and I think we all do, but man, he has stood in there and led our offense at a really, really high level, and in turn has led the team at a high level. I would tell you he's as confident as he's ever been right now. He's so excited to just get back out on the football field. But those are the guys I would tell you that have stood out.
Coach, coming off the first 2 games, you're coaching after a win. Now you're coaching after a loss. Do you have to do anything different to make sure that doesn't become a second loss, or is it important to be the same staff when you lose?
Yeah, I think it's really important to point out why you won, and also really important to point out why you lost. We're at a point in our program where you could just be real and be honest, and these guys can handle it, partially because there's a bunch of guys that have played a ton of football, but also because that's what they expect. They just expect real. Coach, just tell us what the heck it is, and we'll do whatever you tell us to do. I don't think you coach any different. I think if you're process-driven, then you go back to our process. I would tell you, as coaches, man, there's a lot of things we could have done different last week. I would tell you, as players, there's a lot of things we could have done different. Ultimately, if you're process-driven, you go right back to your process, and there shouldn't be ups and downs in how you coach. It's got to be consistent, and the standard's got to be the standard in everything you do. I think when you change, if you change based on the win or loss, the guys will call you out really, really quickly. And so we haven't. We got a veteran staff that is a bunch of pros that know what they're doing. I certainly can't change because they're going to look at me in every imaginable way as the leader of the program. But really honest and really real, absolutely.
Seems like talking to the players in the first 2 games, they've assessed it and then moved to the next one, and this one they seem to have assessed it and moved on. So does this team have the maturity level where if you play a team that, you know, some people might perceive as not the equal of the first 3, that you don't have to worry about this, they can take care of their business, and they don't have to be, you know, told, hey, this is a big game. They understand that?
I think it's human nature. Like, I'd be lying to you if I told you it wasn't human nature to be like, all right, like, can you stay focused and locked in for what we're hoping to be 15 weeks, 16 weeks? But right now ain't the time. And I think for our guys, this one's easy because you flip the film on, you know, and we're mature enough as a team now. We weren't for a couple of years here, but we're mature enough as a team now to flip the film on. And you could tell when you go out to practice, like, that's what I was guarded against today. Like I'm saying, and yesterday in the same breath, like gloves on, like up here, ready to rock. If there was going to be a dip or a drop off, I thought it was really, really intentful. I think as a coach, you have to continue to give guys points of emphasis in the sense of, man, like, fundamentals and technique, like, revert right back to your fundamentals and technique. Same thing with coaches. Like, coaches, I want the fundamentals and technique and the detail coached at a higher level than it's ever been coached, because that's what you saw go away on Saturday. You saw guys playing really hard, like intentful as can be and really hard. But when you're scrapping and you're trying to claw back from behind, you start seeing guys do some things that aren't necessarily what's coached in the sense of just truly fundamentally in technique. And you got to revert right back because they become habits if it's not corrected, coached, and detailed out for them. So I think we are mature enough. all you have to do is throw the film on. And elite competitors, elite teams, that's what I told the guys after practice, elite competitors, elite teams, they just go. Regardless of who you're playing, your process is the same. How you attack it is the same. The scheme changes, but in terms of what you do in your mindset, it's exactly the same. And there's some great examples of that, at least in modern history of us, where, and I've said this before, good teams stay good, bad teams stay bad. Like really, really good teams, elite teams, they handle business every week. There may be a loss in there, but it's consistent in terms of the level of play, the intent, the effort, the technique, the fundamentals are exactly the same every week. And you just got to point to that. That's where we're building to. You just want to be consistent. And I know we talked a lot about that going into the year is you want to be consistent week in, week out, quarter to quarter, game to game, week to week. And you want to be on a consistent path to where, one, you're getting better every week, but two, there's not these highs and lows of performance ultimately.
Coach, you're going into the game Saturday. You can come out of this 3-1 going into the conference. I know you want to win every game, but that's a great momentum builder going into that bye week, isn't it?
I think for us going 1-0 this week is the most important thing. All of that type of stuff in terms of, man, big picture, man, like where were we hoping to be? Like I was hoping to be 3-0 going into week 4. We prepared to be 3-0. That's why I say, like, and I've given you quotable moments, but gosh darn it, like the standard is that we win that game, and we didn't. So for us now, it's to bed. We got to go 1-0 this week, and non-conference, conference, it doesn't matter. It's on the schedule. You got to go attack it. You got to go smash it in the face. And so I want to go 1-0 this week. Our intent's to go 1-0 this week. We'll revisit the big picture at the end of the season whenever that comes.
You mentioned, obviously Mac and Shu and Byram and all these familiar guys, but we're also talking more about Chenal, Gaskin, Neptune, all these young guys coming up. How encouraged are you? I mean, the veterans are the veterans, but it seems like you've got a lot of young guys all over the field now that are starting to show up.
Yeah, Fred's another one. I'm glad you mentioned him. Kind of slipped my mind. I thought Fred played his best game on Saturday. Again, his third game being in it. I should have mentioned him earlier, but like truly as a starter, third game, and he kind of left the bowl game that way. But literally, we challenged him going into last week to pull the pin and go. And he pulled the pin and went. Really, really physical. There was a really, really cool play on the goal line, him and the quarterback one-on-one. And, like, there's been some awesome moments for him, but he let it go on Saturday and played his best ball. I was super proud of Fred. I should have mentioned him. That's the team we knew we had going in. There was going to be some veteran guys that had been there, done that the challenge was for them to play their best ball. But young guys now have guys to point to. Like Fred has Tavin Ward to point to. Fred has Ruck and Ben Knox to point to and say, man, like that's how you prepare. That's how you intentfully practice. That's what you do throughout a week. That's how you eat. That's how you sleep. That's how you hydrate. That's how you treat your teammates. Got it. I'll just repeat that. We're at a point now where that's what I'm most proud of is Fred has that. Chenault has that. Xavier Hamilton has that. Name it. Richard Scott has that. Ira Singleton has that. There's a youthful energy, and those guys are competing for time, which is where you're building it the right way. There's a bunch of young guys that are stepping up. There's a bunch of young guys that are playing on special teams, like Corey Pettigrew making an impact on special teams. There's a bunch of guys like that are making impacts on teams that are then playing on offense and defense. But certainly there's these two classes of young guys that are now starting to get ready. And you hope as the season goes, their roles continue to grow and increase. And then you'll have a chance to continue to build. That's how you build from within. Young guys getting older, keep recruiting, keep growing. That's how you build a program.
You talked about wanting to get the running game going. And the struggle so far, how much of that is game situation, quality of the opposition, and what do you need to get fixed before you really get into conference play?
Yeah, I would tell you it's more scheme and game plan than anything else. And by scheme, I don't mean bad scheme, more so where you feel like you have to attack to go win. That's the one thing offensively for us is we're so multiple. We can do so many different things. Like we've lived in so many different worlds in terms of how you run the ball, how you attack the perimeter, how you attack vertically. We've gone into every game with an intent that it has to be somewhat balanced, but part of that has been running the quarterback to get an extra hat because of the way we've been defended. Part of that is purely the matchups. Like you'd be silly to say, man, that's a bad matchup, but we're still going to take that matchup. You're trying to play chess as much as you can, find the matchup and expose that matchup. The better teams you play, the harder that matchup is to find. But we have continued, we felt like our advantage or our best chance to go win, run the ball at times, but you've seen us screen more, you've seen us attack vertically more, you've seen us in the intermediate game more, you've seen us pitch and catch early and downs more the last couple of weeks to get drives started. Ultimately, our identity offensively is to run the football, and we haven't truly been able to consistently do that because of the matchups more than anything else. And we've been able to effectively protect the quarterback in the pass game and have used him in the run game more. I think as we go here, we've got to get our mojo back. And that O-line, like they're like, Coach, we got to do what we got to do. But I do think ultimately it's really hard to play O-line when you don't get lathered up running the football the way you want to.
The team's story for them. What kind of storyline are you seeing for the team that's different than the last few years?
Yeah, I would tell you last week, I don't know if I've ever done so much media stuff in the sense of people wanting to know what the heck is going on here in a positive way, which is awesome. We need it to continue to put our brand out there, our story out there. I don't read it, so I would tell you I'm not sure what the story is. And I say that wholeheartedly. Like there's no time in a day to read anything. And ultimately, to be honest with you, like I don't super care outside of here other than I understand that we need it for recruiting. You've seen the last couple of weeks in terms of commitments, in terms of the recognition we're getting. Guys want to be a part of winners. Guys want to be a part of winning programs. So I hope the story that's being told is that there's something really, really special happening here in Tampa. Hope the story is that this ain't really an underdog story. Like we're building a sustainable long-term program that's going to be on the map nationally for a really long time. That only happens if you take care of each week. And but that's my hope, is that these guys who have incredible stories, they're being told, and it gives them an opportunity to go make a difference in this world, which is really, really jacked up right now in a lot of ways. And so hopefully there's some positivity in a lot of ways that's being told through these guys who are playing football the right way, who are giving back the right way, doing a lot of really awesome things in the community the right way. So that's my hope. But if you send me something, I'll read it at the end of the year. Fair?
Sure.
Awesome.
Big stack.
That's it. Thank you, guys. God bless. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
How you guys doing?
All right, let's start with safety Jarvis Lee, big interception last week.
Let me start off. Is the biggest difference between last year and this year? Last year you were hoping to win. This year you're expecting to win.
Yes, sir, definitely. Like we go into every game expecting to win, like expecting to win. Preparation expected to win. Mindset expected to win. So it's like we fear no opponent. We go into a game ready to win. Like that's the whole mindset you guys have, is playing great opponents, great football teams.
You've been here all 3 years with this coaching staff, and you've seen the team, grow and mature together, and the program pick up the pace together. What maybe has stood out to you during your time here, when you look at the entirety of the program?
When I first got here, that's when AG and the staff was first getting here, so they were trying to establish a brotherhood, establish a team who's like player-led. And like more today, I feel like everybody is more is together. Everybody want to play for each other, play for the person next. So not rather playing for a coach or probably playing for the brand or whatever. It's playing for the guy next to them want to win all together. Really playing for the person next to you and have that real brotherhood.
And are you pleased how the team's maturity has responded to the loss on Saturday? Of course, you're still 2-1. You have everything in front of you, but are you very pleased with how you guys have been able to turn the page?
So definitely, because I mean, end of the day, we want to win that game. We expected to win that game. I mean, things happen. That's a really good football team. It didn't come out the way we wanted to, but in the day, we can't dwell on something that's in the past. We can't dwell on one game, because in the day, that's one game. We still have a lot of those games left to go to the season, so we still got to progress and get better each day for the next teams we play and face. Because in the day, like, we'll probably reach that team again. We'll probably face another team just like that later in the year, so we can't dwell on one loss.
Is the mentality for Saturday, let's go out, win this, we don't want to stub our toe again because everything we've done in the past now gets deleted. Want to go into the bye 3-1, don't you?
Yes, sir, definitely. It's not even just to go out there and win, just to get through it. It's not none of that. It's going out to dominate. It's still the same, how we played the other two teams, Florida and Boys, how we won that game and dominated. We're going to do the same thing on defense and offense as well, do the same thing. So we don't take no team lightly. We just treat them the same way we treat any other team.
Thanks.
How hard was it to turn the page after Miami?
I mean, it was a tough loss. I mean, like I said, the whole world was looking on us on that game. So it was tough because, like I said, we wanted that game expecting to win, wanted to win. So it was tough. I mean, you got to ask what simple as that. But like I said, we got to turn the page. We can't sit there and dwell on something that's already in the past. We just got to take the mistakes that we did. Let's watch film and just fix them.
I know I played back in the ancient days, but you had to sit for an hour and 15 minutes. Isn't that the worst thing to tell a football player when he's revved up, ready to go? I got to stop now.
Definitely. I mean, you go out there, get yourself hyped up. You got a game plan, everything ready to execute, and then now you got to wait because of the delay. I mean, it's hard. You got to go out there, get yourself pumped back up, and get yourself energized again. And it just, but you can't let stuff like that affect you, though. You still have to be in that same mindset, same type of production. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just something we can't let affect us, though, going through the season. Because we playing tougher here in Florida. It probably rain and give us light and delay anything here. We got to be the same mentality always. You can't let that affect us.
Coach Golesh keeps saying that this program is really close to becoming elite. How close do you feel like it is to becoming elite?
I feel like we're there, but we're not there yet. Like we're saying, like little things we got to fix. Going against good opponents, good teams, you got to be on that same level all the time. Just how we played on Saturday, it wasn't to the standard. We feel like everybody hold each other to that same standard. We got to be there at every game, not just because we playing Miami, not because we playing South Carolina State. It's like that with any opponent, but we're almost there.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Good luck Saturday.
Thank you all. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Tight end, White Sullivan, 5 catches for 55 yards on Saturday. Big question for White.
Let me ask you this. When you're playing on Saturday, how important is it to make sure you don't stub your toe again and win on Saturday? Coach said, we're going 1-0. How important is it to go into that bye week 3-1?
It's super important. You know, you don't want to end on a loss, and we got to get that taste out of our mouth. So it's just taking every day one step at a time and just hoping that leads to a win, you know, a big win at that.
What do you think of when you look at South Carolina State on tape?
They got some players on there. You know, they gave South Carolina a good first half. Like, it was close in the first half, and that's a Power 5 team. So you can't underestimate any team. So we're taking them very seriously.
Well, if you could talk about what this experience at USF has been like for you so far, after not just the 3 games, but overall since you've been here, and the program and what you've really liked about it and your teammates.
It's been a lot different from the last places I was at, but it's like a brotherhood. Like, I like how everybody treats everybody the same. It's not like the star players are treated one way and like the walk-on players are treated one way. Like, everybody's held to the same standard. Like, Coach Golesh might yell at Byram the same way he yells at a backup player on special teams, something like that. And that's something I've been liking since I've been here.
I know I played way back, but it's the worst thing for a football player still when you're ready to go, you're amped up, and then they go, we got to sit down for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, nobody likes a rain delay. You know, it's hard. You get lactic acid buildup all in your legs. So it's just you got to stay warm for an hour in the locker room, but you get to make adjustments. So that's probably the only positive to it.
Thanks.
What's your impressions of Biden for 3 games? I mean, obviously you knew who he was before you got here, but now that you've actually been on the field with him 3 times against 3 outstanding teams, I mean, how has he looked to you?
He's a dog. You know, he's unfazed. Good game, bad game, playing good, playing bad. He's the same guy all the time. And, you know, he's having a great season.
I know you haven't been around long, but last year the attitude was like, we hope we can win. Do you feel like the attitude this year is we expect to win?
Yeah, every game we go into, we expect to win. Like, everybody was real heartbroken after that Miami game because we definitely went in there and expected to win that game.
Thanks.
How easy is it to move on to SC State after a loss like that?
It's actually real easy because we moved on after the wins the same way. Like, everybody celebrated in the locker room, and then the next day we watched the film, and then the day after that everybody forgot about the game, and it's on to the next week. So it's just the same thing, win or loss, just perfecting your process and just doing the same thing every day.
The only thing you're remembering is the bumps and bruises, right?
Yes, sir. You get in the training room, ice it up, and then you forget about those too. So
Everybody plays hurt, right?
yes, sir.
Coach said that this program is really close to becoming elite. How close do you think you guys are to becoming an elite program?
We like to look at ourselves as elite right now, but you know we probably got to win some more games to get back on that AP poll. But that's really not the focus for us. It's just winning every game, one game at a time, and win every day, one day at a time.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Saturday.
Maybe you could throw it first day on Thursday.
Yeah, maybe.